everybody, it's Renee. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Most people don't ever get to see this, but this is my workspace when I do my art. Lately I have been making waterproof matches. As you can see, these are made from kitchen matches. Okay. This is made from these. I just cut them a little shorter. I'll tell you why in just a moment. These are actual Strike Anywhere little matches. Now, what this is, it's a hot plate that I got for like $10, $15, something like that at the dollar store. This is a little cast iron skillet, which it is hot. Yeah, set it back down, dummy. It came with a candle in it, so I'm not running any of my cooking ones. It's just one I use to do my art things when I need wax melted and just a spoon. These are the tools you're going to need and some paper towels. Now, what you do is you buy a box of these, the long reach matches. The only thing is with these is I cannot find them that are Strike Anywhere. Therefore, little matches. I take one of these, you roll it in a paper towel, and you dip it in the wax. Well, as you can see, this plus this doesn't work. That's why you need the spoon. You dip the wax and pour over it. And I will be making some to show you. Okay, first of all, you can do these little matches. They're not really pertinent for like campfires or anything like that, but if you want to use it, you can if you've got more flammable material. You take and cut you, these are just cheap paper towels, and I did an experiment where I used expensive thick Viva paper towels, toilet paper, paper napkins, and cheap paper towels. Well, cheap paper towels burn the longest. Don't ask me why, don't know. But what you do is you roll your paper towel like this. It's harder to do the smaller the match is, until you get as much as you want on here. And I usually put a good thick little amount. Okay, you want it fairly tight. Then I take the tweezers, grab a hold of it, I dip it in my wax to where it is soaked. And when it's smaller like this, let me move this over a little bit. And when it's smaller like this, you want to soak it, and as you'll see, bubbles are coming to the top. And when the bubbles stopped, it's absorbed all it can for that moment in time. Now, as you can see, I'm working on a glass table that is supposed to be out on my front porch, but I kind of utilize it in a different way. My husband fusses, but we do what we have to. Also, I have underneath here just some cheap plastic. I think I got these at a Dollar Tree, 4 for $1. Just some placemats. And you want to put it rolled side down, like that, and leave it there. Just don't bother until it cools, which is usually about 5 minutes. I make up usually several. Now this is part of this, of course, and just cut into size. Now, I take wire cutters, yes I do, because scissors hurts too bad. My hands don't want to do that. I measure it, and the reason that these are shorter, you just snip it. It's not a big deal. Oh well, there we go. You just snip it, and it leaves it very raggedy down here. That's the reason for the sandpaper. Just sand it, pick off little loose bits, and yeah, it's smoking like crazy because I got some on the burner. But I'm gonna turn it down just a hair. Just take it on a piece of sandpaper and just sand it smooth, however you want. I mean, it's not necessary. It just keeps you from sticking it in your finger. The reason for this length is because I have these. This had chocolate in it. Well, you know me, chocolate's gone. I measured, fits perfectly down in there to where I can close it. And if any of you saw Multi-Magnum 62's post, I gave him some of these, and it was in this box. This box was also the candy that I gave Nina in her custom ration I made her. Go to foreignmre.com on YouTube and you can see that video. I painted John's box. Of course, it didn't look like this. I painted it camouflage just to be funny, really. But anything will do, like a Secrets box, a chocolate box, any kind of box you want to use. I mean, if you buy the big boxes of kitchen matches, which are bigger than these but smaller than these, you can put them in them. Or you can just wrap it in some wax paper, put a rubber band around it, you're good to go. Anything. That's the reason for this size. Okay, with this size, let me sit down here. This size, I do like this. And I take my hand and I just roll. It's the quickest, easiest way to get them tight. And you do the same thing. Dunk them. Hold it for a few seconds till the bubbles quit coming. Alright, let the excess drip off the end with the match head. When it stops dripping, pretty much, do the same thing as you did with this. And I have this on a very low temperature, just enough to get it to melt and do like that. And the time it's took me to yammer on you all and do this one has dried. And you'll have wax here. I've got a little scraper here somewhere that I scrape up the wax and put it back in here. Now, you just kind of smooth the wax down, okay? Match head was out just a little bit, and I kind of push in right here just a little. Grab my tweezers, and I'll grab it by the stick this time because I'm not having to hold in the paper towel. And I'll dip it again, and dip it again, and let it drain. You go through this process 3 or 4 more times. Set it down, let it dry. Now, what kind of wax am I using? Well, I'm a big proponent for using, reusing things, I guess. I have 2 wax melt burners in my house, and these are green because I use the Gain smell Febreze. Love the smell of Gain, wash all my clothes in it, everything. If I have Febreze in the house, it will be Gain scented, so when you come in my house, you smell Gain. But, you know, these you just drop in your warmer, and they melt. Well, eventually the smell goes out of it. So I thought, well, what can I do with that extra wax? Here we go. The ones that are brown like this is because I had some wax melts from Goose Creek Candle. Now, for those of you that are familiar with Goose Creek Candle, their candles smell awesome. They all are extremely scented. And one of my favorite ones is, oh God, it used to be Hot Maple Toddy, but they got sued by Yankee Candle or somebody to change their name. So I think it's Toasty Maple Toddy now, but it smells like pancakes and syrup. It's great. And that's why it's brown. Now, these don't make a whole lot of wax. Well, I also have a paraffin wax melter for beauty purposes. It's a big old wax melter, and you put your hand in, and you draw it out, and you do that 3 or 4 times until you get a coating of wax. You let it sit on there till it completely cools. The reason I have it is it helps with arthritis pain in your hands. But this is the wax that comes with it. Wax for Homedics Paraffin Bass. And so when this got a little thin over here, I just added some. You can use beeswax, whatever you want to use. Here's some I didn't particularly care for the smell of, and I plan on using these in the future. Okay. And I have saved the packages because when I get done and I want to clear all this away, but I don't want to throw away my wax, I will pour it back in here, let it reharden, use it later. All right, now I am going to sit here and make a few for you. The scissors are for, of course, cutting your paper towels. The box cutter is for cutting up this wax. So now I'm gonna sit here, get organized, and make a few for you. All right. Okay, I'm going to do a burn test on the two that I don't know the times to. Okay, I've got one of the Strike Anywhere matches and then one of the long matches just to see how long they burn. Don't judge me because I haven't cleaned out my fireplace lately. As most of you know, we had a big cold snap where the weather went down to below 0. And then it turned 75 degrees outside. We're fixing to get another big cold snap here soon, so yeah, I will be cleaning this out before I build a fire again. Okay, let's do a time lapse. Okay, that was interesting. This is the name of the particular one I like, is Toasty Hot Toddy, not Toasty Maple Toddy. This is made by Goose Creek Candle. I'll talk in a minute. Goose Creek Candle started here in town, in my hometown, and they're global now. I went to high school with the people that own it. Here's something else. I'm going to take the label off, and you know, I'm a coffee junkie. I'm going to take the label off, and I'm going to store some in this. You can store them in pretty much wherever you want, make them whatever length you want, but I can put these away next to my fireplace or wherever, you know, outside, because they are waterproof because of the wax. Windproof, not sure about that. Never tested that out, but you know, they work pretty good. As you saw on these bigger ones, the bigger it is, the bigger flame it gets. But what I found interesting, and the reason I went and got the middle-sized one, this burned for 5 minutes. Same as this. So I guess it would just depend upon how many coats of wax you've put on it. I'm not sure. Why? This one burned for about 14.5 minutes. And as you see, the flame gets pretty big and able to start a fire. Put your paper, cardboard, whatever you got to start your fire, and then your kindling and so on and so forth. And pretty good fire starters. Now, another fire starter that I make, reusing things again that would be thrown away. This is a paper towel roll, and with the stuff I do, I go through quite a few paper towels. This one's not going to be very big because I don't have a whole lot of what else I need. You can use a toilet paper roll, whatever you want. Okay, here I have used dryer sheet, which, by the way, is awesome for cleaning the soap scum off of your bathtub. Who knew? This is dryer lint. I recently did blue jeans, so you put it in there. You don't pack it tight, because I did that once and it wouldn't hardly burn. So just roll it up like that. Nothing fancy. Stick it in here. Good little fire starter. Just light it on fire and it will burn for long enough for your paper and your kindling to catch, and you're good to go. That's another little thing I do with recycling things, which, of course, once you use them, they're gone, but everybody has paper towel rolls, toilet paper rolls, dryer lint, unless you don't have a dryer, but dryer lint and dryer sheets. And this is just something I do. Well, I guess that's about all. I just thought this might be an interesting little tutorial for you guys. Thanks for watching. This is Nay saying bye, y'all. Oh yeah, another recycling thing I do is, as you know, I'm a coffee junkie. These Taste Your Choice are glass. And I have made candy dishes out of them by painting them real pretty for Christmas. I actually painted it red, and then the front was white with the belt, and made a Santa Claus out of it. And I put Christmas old-fashioned candy in it and gave it away as gifts. I took white fur and glued it to this. You can use cotton balls. You can use whatever you want and just comb the cotton ball out to make it look like fur. But I just had a thought, you know, cut these a little shorter and I can put my long ones in one of these jars. So, another way to recycle. I put a lot of things in these to hold sawdust, to fill in holes in wood when I'm doing woodworking, and so on and so forth. Just any little thing, you know, nuts, bolts, screws, nails that you got laying around. Anything. I just recycle them instead of throw them away. I mean, why throw away a good glass jar? And yes, this is my coffee of choice. Everybody cringe now. But that's all I've got for today. Thank you very much. This is Nay saying bye, y'all.